we have with us Cenk from Young Turks. Cenk, can you hear me?
I can, brother, I can.
Cenk.
Woo!
Be cool.
Love that reaction.
Cenk, first of all, you said you were going to do it. I respect you for joining us. I know it's 1 o'clock. You're up here with us. People can agree or disagree, say whatever they want about you. You've been a fighter since day one. And you and I have had some of the best conversations together, respectfully disagreeing. And I appreciate that about our relationship together. However, being on tonight, I was hearing that you were giving your message and you were a little bit somber about what's going on right now with the story. DNC chair just came out and said she's not going to come out to give the speech tonight. Trump right now is on his way to Palm Beach to maybe give his victory speech. New York Times just came out saying Trump's going to win 299. We had the Rasmussen CEO on, Mark Mitchell, giving his perspective. Where do you stand right now with 1 o'clock in the morning with Kamala versus Trump?
Yeah, she can still win, but...
Bye.
Okay, you guys want to hear the full sentence?
No.
But
yes.
She is still losing, and Donald Trump is likely to win. So, look, on the Young Turks, we're honest. And so we've been covering it honestly the whole time. I said that Donald Trump had a better chance of winning about a week ago, and I've been saying it for about a month. At the end, a bunch of polls that came out said that Kamala Harris was likely to win, but it looks like they were wrong. And so right now, as things stand, I just came off the Young Turks show where I lit into the Democratic Party. Bunch of losers, corporate Democrats. I hate them. They've cost us election after election. They're corrupt. And they lost, it looks like, to a syphilitic clown, total moron, con man, Donald Trump. So if you lose to a buffoon like Donald Trump twice, what does that make you?
So let me ask you. Hang on, guys. Hang on.
I got an echo, by the way.
I want to ask you a follow-up question because can you listen? Hang tight. Cenk, question for you. A question that you're a business guy. You've been running a business for a while. You're not with one of these mainstream guys. You're not MSNBC. You were in the past. You came from you left. You said you're going to do your own thing. Young Turks, it has a history of doing great things, millions of subscribers on what you've been able to pull off. But let me ask you, are you at a point where maybe the American people are just sitting there looking at a few policies being presented by the Democrats saying, this is just weird? Are you at a point that you're willing to accept that some of the directions the party's gone, they're losing Democrats? Democrats are leaving the party because it just doesn't sound like the John F. Kennedy Democrats from 50, 40, 60 years ago. It's just a very weird party today. Is that where you are, or no, you just think they have bad leaders?
So it depends on which side of the policy you're talking about. So if you're saying economic policies, our economic policies are super popular. So paid family leave, which most Republicans agree with. Higher wages, most Republicans agree with. Money out of politics, most Republicans agree with. But when you talk about some of the social issues, I warned some of my leftist friends, do not go too extreme. So I believe in trans rights, but saying that trans detainees should get taxpayer-funded surgeries makes no sense, and I knew that it would be deeply unpopular. But leftists sat there and said, no, we know everything, Cenk. You've been on the air 22 years, you've got 27 million subscribers, but you don't know anything. This is going to be super popular. So my leftist friends, how'd that turn out for you? So we are honest on the Young Turks. So you've got to be keeping it real. We're populists. But hear me now, and you'll quote me later. Donald Trump is a crook, and he's going to rob you guys blind.
Dave, let me ask one, and it'll come to you. Let me ask one, I'll come to you guys. Cenk, we have Dominik, Tarczyński here, and Dave. They have a question. They'll come to you here in a minute. But let me ask you this question. Your opinion about Trump, you and I talked about it when you were on the podcast last time. You said you thought you were a better businessman than him. What has he done in his life? Well, we had that conversation. I totally get it. I even brought it up on Rogan's podcast that I don't agree with you there, but it's your position. I totally understand. Here's a question I got for you. Your show with Anna Kasparian, the two of you guys together. I've been watching Anna closely, and a lot of people have. She's kind of right now like, dude, what the F is going on? This doesn't make any sense. Why are you attacking me? There is a major community that is thinking Anna, who went from the position she had 5 years ago, 7 years ago, some would have called her maybe a socialist, where she is kind of like right now, maybe even becoming a libertarian. I'm not saying a Republican or a conservative, but maybe a little bit of a libertarian independent. You're around her the most. You're seeing that taking place. Why do you think she is moving? How are they losing someone like Anna Kasparian, who's very talented, very capable, very formidable? Why do you think?
So again, it depends on if we're talking about economic issues or social issues. So in economic issues, she still believes every single thing that she believed. On crime and homelessness, I would argue, and I have argued with her on air, that we haven't changed our position at all. What happened was the Democrats did a switcheroo in California. So we voted for a ballot measure where they didn't tell us that they would take some felonies and move them to misdemeanors. Well, if you don't put it in the ballot measure, how the hell are we supposed to know? So now California is reversing that tonight. Because you know who likes crime? No one. No one. Okay. So if you're a leftist out in California and you pretend there is no crime and we should move like domestic assault into a misdemeanor, we disagree with you, but we've always disagreed with you. So I think that it's really the Democratic politicians that are corrupt and a few leftists online that have gone too far. But when you talk about the core of the Bernie Sanders economically populist positions, they are still massively popular, and tons of conservatives agree with them.
Yeah, I'd like to ask the question. Hi, Cenk. Nice to see you. It's Candace. Hi. So my question for you would just be, I mean, I think we can all agree that this is a tremendous referendum on the left, right? I mean, you brought out Taylor Swift, you've brought out Beyonce, you've brought out LeBron James. You guys have used every vocabulary word available to you to explain to the American people that Trump is a dictator, he's literally Hitler, and the American people seem to be rejecting that resoundingly, right? Does that at all signal, let me just ask you blankly, what does that signal to you as someone who I think has contributed to that rhetoric? Is it a signal to you that just all the American people support a dictator, or does it maybe make you go, maybe I'm missing something here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not missing anything. So I've been telling the corporate Democrats, stop kissing the ass of the donors. They're not here to help us, they're here to rob us. By the way, I would tell the Republicans the same thing. I would tell you guys the same thing. Trump's donors are gonna rob you blind. So these corporate Democrats took the donor money and they ran campaigns that were not populist. That what they did was they ran campaigns that were anodyne, boring, didn't actually attack Trump on his number one problem, corruption, the fact that he's a fake populist. You know why? Because they don't even understand populism. They are the establishment. So the real problem is the establishment of the Republican Party like Mitch McConnell and the establishment of the Democratic Party like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, thank you very much. I do not have a question. I would rather have a comment as a member of the Parliament, European Parliament, who was called a fascist, Islamophobe. I was called all these names. And I'm happy that we have this moment of silence now, because I would like to remind you, these people are lecturing us about unity. So I would like to remind you again, they are talking and lecturing us about unity. So now you have a chance to practice what you preach and show the whole nation what the unity in democracy means. You have to have a class to lose, because if you don't have a class when you are losing, you have no right to win.
Cenk, go for it. Go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah, this brother isn't even American. So I don't know what the hell he's chanting USA for. I'll chant USA, not you, okay? And so, second of all, you're talking about losing with class when that bitch Donald Trump tried to steal an election, set to terminate the Constitution, or set off a riot, that he didn't mind if his vice president was murdered, bum rushed the Capitol, tried to destroy our democracy. He's the very worst in losing with no class at all. Here I am telling you that I think the Democratic Party did it wrong. I think they ran a wrong campaign. They're relying on the donors. They've got the wrong strategy. So we are honest about what goes wrong in the Democratic Party and what goes in the Republican Party. Are you guys honest about the fact that Donald Trump tried to steal an election? He's got no class at all.
Patrick, if I may, just one sentence.
Cenk, go for it.
Okay.
Dominik.
Guys, if I can ask you for another moment of silence.
Who the hell is this guy? Are you Viktor Orban's cousin?
Okay. Yes, I'd like to have a conversation. I would like to answer. You asked me why I am in US now. Because I was invited and I came here with my passport. So I was invited, Patrick invited me as a politician to come to US because as a European, as a Polish, I do recognize US as a leader of the free world, and I pay my respect to this country.
Good.
And I came here, my friend, and I came here because I used to live under communism. My country was under communism, and Reagan with John Paul II freed our country, and I will be always grateful to the Republicans of the United States for the freedom of Poland and Europe. And my presence here in America is my way to pay respect to those who freed the world from the communism. And that was America and John Paul II. And I do not want communism back. And Kamala is a communist.
Kamala Harris is a corporatist. She's furthest thing from communist. Her problem is the exact opposite. She'll do anything for a corporate donor, which, by the way, she shares with Donald Trump. And by the way, I came here and my family came here because we love America. And I'm always going to fight for America.
Cenk, what do you love about America the most? When you say, I will always fight for America, what is America to you?
So it's freedom, it's opportunity, it's justice. We lived across from a place called Fair Chance Farm, and that is the essence of America. All we want is equality of opportunity for us to have a shot and our kids to have a shot at the American dream. That's why I'm a populist. I believe in the average American, not in the donors class, not the billionaires. And I got news for you. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's a giant billionaire. He's not a populist. He's not for the average American. He's going to get more tax cuts. He's going to get deregulation. They're going to rob this place blind. You can disagree now, but you will agree with me later. Wow. Because we've always been fair. We've always been honest. And those guys are going to do nothing but deliver for themselves and not for you. We should be delivering for the average American. Our housing prices are through the roof. Why? Because of Wall Street. Because of the private equity guys buying off all of our homes. You should be fighting against that, not helping support billionaires rob the place blind.
But you know, Cenk, there's a part of it that you're right. We talked about that earlier, where we said 4 years ago, it took $75,000 your salary to buy a house. Right now it's $120,000. But that happened under Harris and Kamala, Harris and Biden. So, I mean, these are some of the things where even right now, Powell is lowering the rate. Nothing's happening. Interest rates are not dropping. So the average person is just sitting there saying, look, we gave you guys a shot. I thought he was going to be the unifier. I thought he was going to be the peace. I thought she was going to fix the border. She never once visited that place until it was too late. Don't you just look at this and realize they just didn't deliver on their promises and the ideas are outdated and doesn't work? Are you able to say that, or no, we just need a different leader? Again, same question.
Yeah. So, Patrick, you know that I fought tooth and nail against Joe Biden. I even ran against him in the primary. And I called out everybody who was pretending that he was young and dynamic. And I said he's not on the right track. So the problem isn't Democrat versus Republican. And a lot of Republican voters understand this, and they call it the uniparty. Corporate Republicans and corporate Democrats are on the same team. And I appreciate right-wing voters who realize that Mitch McConnell's a crook. Whoa. And I wish Democratic voters would replace and realize that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and all those guys are also crooks. So all of those establishment Republicans and Democrats have let Wall Street and the donor class rob us. And that is why we have these rules that allows private equity to buy all the homes and drive up our prices. We've got to replace them with populists, true populists. That's the key.
Vince, you got to stop dropping your mic. You're scaring the crap out of people. Yeah.
Cenk, Vinny, is that him?
Cenk.
Just want to say this.
BRB, Cenk, because they just called Pennsylvania for Donald J. Trump.
And there's one other end. By the way, there's one other end. You know what the other end is? Tom just told me they also called Alaska. Alaska. Tom is saying that's going to be done with. So at this point,
that's it, man. That's
over?
It. Donald Trump's president.
That's a wrap. It's over.
It's over.
Wow.
One last note, Patrick.
Come on. Trump, 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 Trump.
So, Cenk, go for it. I'll give you the last word before we come back over here. Go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah. So, guys, I love that USA chant. keep that loyalty to America, not to politicians. So I have no loyalty to any Democratic politician, and you shouldn't have one to Republican politicians. So hold Trump accountable. Please be honest. And if he does right, then I'll say it. But if he does wrong, please, for God's sake, value America more than any politician, including Donald Trump. Thank you, guys.
Please turn him off.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, Cenk.
Thank you, Cenk.
Thank you.
One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was joining the U.S. Army. When I served the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, the level of pride of America being the greatest country in the world went to the roof. If you are a veteran, or if you support veterans, you have family members, Veterans Day, we have brand spanking new gear for you to choose from, a whole plethora of options of what to choose from, with shirts that say we support armed veterans, I am an armed veteran, dog tags, shirts, hats, all of the different gears that we have. And for the first 250 people that place an order, you have the option of 12 to 15 brand spanking new mugs that we have. One says Angry Patriot, another one says BizDoc, another one has got the U.S. flag, another one has PBD Podcast or Valuetainment or A Future Looks Bright. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Veterans Day. These things are going to go very quickly, and you'll get a custom mug that'll be sent your way.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.